Yes, he said last week that he didn't want people to watch him eat. So
See the food hanging off his chin.
right,
Uh,
right. So very good. All right. Well, so this week's readings are the end of chapter 5 and all of chapter 6 and most of chapter 7. And um, the sermon for Sunday will be Acts 6, 1-7, which is the commissioning of the seven, which is Tuesday's reading. So it's a very interesting passage. I have enjoyed diving into it, and I can't wait for you to hear. And you'll get to hear it live because it'll be live. It's not going to be recorded. So, and yeah, we have a backup plan just in case technology isn't our friend on Sunday. So, if you're here in person, you'll see it happen live, but I'm going to pre-record it just in case something goes haywire, so folks that are online can have a video to watch.
Hi, Hudson.
Oh,
hey,
you
buddy.
got company.
Yeah. And
Hey, Hudson.
Hello.
Hi, buddy.
Hi.
say
Oh.
hi. What happened to this hand? Did it get broken?
There it is.
Okay, you do it, Papa. Okay.
There we go. All right. Bye, Hudson. Bye, Don. Oh, hey, look, Gail's in there too. Sorry, I don't have anybody back here. Sorry, nobody's gonna come toddling.
Nobody's hiding.
Oh, I did. We thought y'all needed some help.
Right.
Good. Well,
certainly do.
Gary, I'm so glad you put those questions to Dean because we used the answers in our class Monday night like crazy. That really was good.
Oh, from your email last week.
Okay.
Yeah, from last week's.
Oh, okay.
So, yep. All right. So, so in your prep for this coming week, what questions do you have? Or what follow-up do you have from previous lessons that maybe you need to circle back with your folks?
We had a lot of discussion about being bold in your faith. And of course, a lot of people thought being bold was, standing from a mountaintop and yelling it, and more like our friends in the other religions. But I think we discussed it and came through with bold was more in how you're feeling, and that you're bold, you're not afraid to say, I'm a Christian.
Right.
I know Jesus, So I think we came away with a good thing when this class was all said and done. And I told Judy Brewster to email you directly with her tongues, voice, speaking in tongues.
Right. Sounds good. Very good.
And none of us had ever heard about the basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Really? That acronym? Oh,
Had
wow.
you heard that, Gary?
No.
That our whole class, and the age group of ours, nobody ever heard that.
Yeah, I first heard that in college, but I hung out with Baptists in college. So.
Uh-oh.
I know, right? So, very good.
Okay.
All right. So,
Sherry with us?
Hi, Sherry.
Hey, I'm here. I am dropping granddaughter at speech and picking her back up again. So no video because I'll be quite a distraction moving around.
All right, no problem. Okay. So let's see. So Tuesday's reading is the first part of Acts 6, and there's the disputes between the Hellenists and the Hebrews. They choose the 7, and things continue to spread, and the number of disciples increases. Even priests become faithful. And then Stephen steps into the forefront. So this is the first person since Peter who takes a front stage role, and we will see him all the way through the end of chapter 7. He will be the one on the front of the camera. So he too has a run-in with the synagogue leaders. This one, the synagogue of the freedmen, which are basically people who used to be slaves who somehow found their either paid for or were liberated somehow from slavery. And they stir up trouble, and then Stephen ends up back in front of the Sanhedrin. So Sanhedrin's getting a lot of traffic from this early church movement. And I thought it was interesting in Wednesday's reading that everyone who sat on the council, this is verse 15, they looked intently at him. And it's the same word as what Peter and John did for the lame man at the Beautiful Gate. And it's actually about the 4th or 5th time that phrase has been used in these first few chapters of Acts. So there's this idea of looking intently. So I looked at it. Got to get to the right notebook here. Oh, it's just later. That's at the end. Okay. We'll get to that. So yeah, but it's the same as that moment with Peter and John and the lame man, the Beautiful Gate. And so they make these accusations, and so then in chapter 7, Stephen begins to defend himself, and he does so by recounting Israel's history. So in addition to in addition to N.T. Wright's book, he actually has an online course on the book of Acts that I'm doing. And he talked about how what Stephen is doing is he is in retelling the story and highlighting the things that he's highlighting. He's talking about how God has always had this purpose for the people of Israel, and but there's always been this parallel storyline of the people rebelling. And so he N.T. Wright talks about how Psalm 105 talks about how good God is, and the good plans that God has, and then he balances that out with Psalm 106. So if you read Psalm 105 and 106, you see that the psalmist is telling the story of the Israelites and all the good things that God is doing, and then kind of comes alongside right immediately following that in 106 with, oh, but people still messed up along the way and tried to thwart those plans. So
would the chronological Bible have it in that sequence?
That I don't know. I don't actually own a chronological Bible. So
Okay, all right. I've got one and I haven't gotten to that point in it yet, but okay.
yeah. My guess is that similar to like I talked about with Psalm 42 and 43, them being connected to one another. Like a couple Sunday nights ago, I talked about Psalm 42 and 43 being the same song that just got arbitrarily cut into two pieces. I wonder if Psalm 105 and 106 necessarily belong together because they sort of present the same story, but with an opposite perspective. So I didn't dig into that. I haven't had the chance to dig into that in particular. And I don't even know if I'll even talk about that when I get to next weekend. But it was just interesting that he was mentioning that. So yeah, so Stephen goes through all the patriarchs. We get Abraham on Thursday, and we get Joseph on Friday, or get all the way up to we get Jacob, and then Isaac, Jacob, and all the way to Joseph. And then as we get to Saturday the 10th, then it's time for Moses, and he's on the scene for a few days. Let's see. Then we get to, so then Monday the 12th is still more Moses. And I found a typo. I was kind of disappointed that there was a typo in the book. That's my fault. I put it together, but on the bottom of Monday the 12th, it should be Exodus 2, 11 to 15, not Exodus 3, 11 to 15. Exodus 3, 11 to 15 is a good part of the story, but it's not the part of the story that I wanted you to read.
One of the ones I did read. Okay.
So then we continue on, and so then there's burning bush on the 13th, and then he steps into the prophets with the Exodus in the wilderness on Wednesday the 14th, and then more of the prophets on the reading for the 15th with 44 to 50. So let's see. I think, trying to remember what that quote's from. Hold on. Right spot here. So the quote on chapter 7, verses 49 to 50 is from Isaiah 66, 1 and 2. And there was a quote, on the previous page from verses 42 to 43 is from Amos chapter 5. Amos 5, 25 to 27, just in case you were wondering. Sometimes not every Bible has those cross references. So. And then Friday the 16th and Saturday the 17th have the text that I'll preach on the 18th. This is the final sort of sword thrust into the Jewish council. He's doing exactly the same thing that Peter and John did, as reminding them that they missed the point of Jesus. That the whole Israelite story led up to him, and they missed it. They killed him, and they killed the prophets, and then they're the ones who missed Jesus. And then he has the vision of heaven and earth coming together. and seeing the Son of Man standing at the right hand of God. And then Saul comes onto the scene. So at least we see him for a moment at the beginning of chapter 8. And then he disappears until chapter 9. So a couple weeks away. So very good. So, all right. Anything from the readings that you've done to get ready that you have questions about? No? Okay.
Ready.
No? Okay. Anything from your class conversations that came up that you were like, I'll ask Pastor Dean about that? No, I'm certainly not the repository of all biblical knowledge, but, oh, hey, Pamela. Did Hudson wander back in?
Yeah, he's down here with his lovely quiet clapper. And like this. No, can't see you.
Oh, there you go.
Why are you here?
What are you doing at my house?
Oh, he points on the TV. Yeah, he points at you.
Oh, cool.
I can hear the wheels going around.
Fun times. Very good. All right. Well, so anyway, that's where we are for right now. So the action will, as soon as we get through chapter 7, then when we think about in context of Acts 1:8, where it's Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria to the ends of the earth. We begin to move outside of Jerusalem. Chapter 8 is when Philip meets the Ethiopian eunuch and spends time in Samaria. So it's the movement is starting to spread. And then once we get to once we get to the end of chapter 12, then that's when we get all the way through those first 2 circles of Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria. And then all of the springtime will be about to the ends of the earth. It'll be Paul's missionary journeys and Asia Minor and Rome and beyond. And I love how chapter 28 ends, without it all being wrapped up in a nice little bow, but it's like, it's almost like he's leaving it for us to go, and now it's your turn. But that's for another conversation. We'll get there, but not today. So, but I am going to start working on the book for next semester, next week, because we got to get it put together and have it ready before Christmas. So fortunately, now that we've designed this, all we really need to do is change the text and change the graphic a little bit, and I got to write the questions. And I'll try to do a better job of not making them so esoteric.
You noticed that, huh?
Oh yeah, I've had lots of people go, I love the readings, but your questions are really hard. And I'm like,
yes. Especially when they are pertain to specific.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh no, I have to think about myself. No.
What happened to me?
Yeah.
If you'll make a note to send add Peggy Wilson when you send out your reminder for next Thursday,
Okay, thank
so
you.
that
I will.
she can join you. She'll be teaching Monday night for you.
Okay. Let me double check and make sure I have her email address real quick, and before we jump off here. I have peggy.j.wilson@verizon.net. Is that the right one? Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. I will add her and
Thank
make sure she gets it. Making myself a note. 2, 4, 10, 12. All right.
Are you up to a full service for Sunday?
So 9 o'clock has about, it's got over 50 people already RSVP'd. Some of those are like, obviously myself and a few other people who will be actually working the service. And so we're figuring that out as far as do volunteers register if they're not taking up a spot in the main space. So right now, yeah, we're sitting somewhere around 55, I think is what we have for first service, which will be nice and, it'll feel full given the distanced seating. Second service has about 12 or 14 as of right now. So it'll be a little bit smaller, but that's okay. We'll plug on, and there may be some folks that who can't get into first service, but may pop over to second service just to relieve some space there. So yeah, we're we're plugging away. We have a live stream test tonight that we're gonna do to make sure we get all the equipment's working and making sure everything's talking to each other and we get things set up the way that we need to, so that we can have, so that it looks good in the space as well as online. So we'll have all the volunteers and all the people running through that tonight. So
So
pray
as
for
far
that,
as watching it not at 9 o'clock or 11:15, they'll go to our website and pull it.
So the way that our setup will work is that in order for us to live stream, we have to go through our feed has to go through YouTube, and it'll get automatically recorded there. And then what Bobby will do is he'll go in and he'll cut the ends off of the video, and then it'll get automatically uploaded to our website. So by a little after lunchtime, probably on Sunday, at least for the for the foreseeable future, it should be ready to watch. Both of them should be ready to watch by
After Sunday or Monday?
Well, right now it would probably be by maybe mid-afternoon Sunday. Things will be up on the website and you can watch. Our deadline is for sure, mid-afternoon on Monday. So if something goes wrong and we've got to, change some things up, then that's fine. But yeah, no later than like 2 o'clock on Monday, everything will be uploaded and available to watch on demand on the website. And we have the capability of rebroadcasting them on the website. So, like First Baptist, they earlier this summer, they would record, but then they would broadcast it via the same platform we're going to use like 4 or 5 or 6 times during the week. So people in their church knew that if they went on the website, it was going to be live at 6 o'clock or whatever, and they could watch it again. We would have that capacity too. It wouldn't be a technically live service, but it would be a rebroadcast. on that platform. So, but it'll be on demand on our website no later than like 2 o'clock on Monday. But we have the potential for it to be done by Sunday afternoon. But yeah, it'll be, I've said this before, but I can't wait to see actual people in front of me. You know, it was nice to see some of you through your windshield. That was great. Or maybe out the side window of the convertible. For those with such amenities. But it'll be great to see people in person in the space.
Good luck.
Thank you. Very good. Well, I think there's no other questions, and it's already 12:30. So I'm guessing James got held up at the office for something. So that's why we record it. You can catch it. So very good. Well, I appreciate you. Appreciate what you do for our church. And if there's anything I can do for you, just let me know. Okay.
Will
All
do.
right.
Thank you.
Great.
Thanks,
Y'all
Dan.
you're very welcome. Y'all have a great rest of your week.
See you in
And
a couple of weeks.
sounds great. Travel safe.
Yeah.